At everything is okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. Everybody loves Raven 360 on a Sunday going live. Hello, everybody. Keep having to restart my iPad multiple times to let me go live. Hello, everybody. Hello, Bobby. Are you in Hawaii? Hello, Teresa in Chicago. Hello. I'm reading all of these great comments. Oh, you know what I have to bring? Well, first of all, cheers to, I'm going to try not to, today, I'm going to go through this without any coughing, which is always good. Hello, Bobby in Las Vegas. Yes. You just got your ELR cup yesterday, and it looks so good. Thanks for shipping all the way to Norway. Oh, yes, send a picture. Everybody, if you send a picture, if you put a picture up on your own thing and tag Everlow's Raymond 360 or ELR 360, we will repost it, or you can send it as a message on Instagram, and my people will go through and make sure that they don't miss it eventually. I try not to. Hello, Leo from snowy Toronto. Hello in Kansas. To Dave's podcast. How's your podcast going? Wisconsin. Yes, my friend is going to Wisconsin for a Comic-Con. South, where is it? It's in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. It's about 30 miles south of Duluth, Minnesota. I know that's where they're flying into. Maurice LaMarche, the voice of the brain, of Pinky and the Brain. Hello, ordered your mug. Yes, great. Yes, Barbara, your ELR quote mugs makes me so happy. Yeah, so I think the effect, again, there's the quotes mug if you haven't seen it. There it is. Ooh, mine is very hot. There's our logo. You see every scene when you read the quotes, and then you go, oh, I think I'm going to go watch that scene. All right. Love and enjoy these. Thank you. Yes. Hello, Oregon. Hello, Tom and Ray. Hello, Tom. Ray and I are watching while eating a pot of homemade beef stew. I know it says stee, but I'm sure you mean stew. By the way, there is a Ukrainian stew that is real. I'm going to have to post a recipe for it. It is delicious if we're going to trade recipes. Not the brajol recipes, but it's pretty good. Bracciole. Leo, let me ask Phil. I repeat your questions, by the way, because they go away on replay, and so if that's why you're wondering. From Leo, Tom, did you figure out why season 9 did not have a Christmas episode? I think season 9, I wrote the PTNA episode, and I don't know if it just didn't have a good story idea for Christmas. So the Jazz Records was a true story that happened to me, and it just worked out that it would make a perfect Christmas story. So I don't know, Leo, I'll find out next time we have Phil as a guest or that I talk to Phil. By the way, before I was going to post this, but I ran out of time. I have a lot of great photos. We're going to take a look inside the toaster episode. Now, we've discussed the toaster. I'm going to tell the story behind the toaster. Phil has been on. We've talked about the toaster. Here is, for those of you that haven't joined, this is Tom before. This is Tom Caltabiano, as a writer on Everlow's Raymond. And I, when I don't have a guest, I show the inside of an episode, the Polaroids that the wardrobe department took. And for example, this is from the toaster, and there is our friend Raymond making a face behind an unknowing Marie Doris Roberts. And so for those of you who are into wardrobe, and again, it's backwards because you're watching on Instagram, you will see the notes for every outfit. For those of you who are into wardrobe, I will show all of the pictures a little bit later as we visit. There is our friend Patricia Heaton, looking very nice somewhere. But I found a gem from a holiday episode, and we will look inside this. That's right. It is backwards again, I know. This is the actual MacDougall family play. There we go, MacDougall backwards. I found this in my basement hidden away in a mysterious envelope, and we will take a look inside a little bit later. And not only do I have Allie's, which she was holding, but I also have this one and this one. So I have 3 of them, and we will see what is inside that the script, that the actor rather holds when they're doing that play. Okay, let me catch up on questions. Hello, Karen Cooney, how are you? Can you remind me the name of that Italian restaurant in Chicago that Barbara has mentioned before? The Italian restaurant, you mean that Teresa's family owns? Tufano's? Or is there another Chicago restaurant that I'm unaware of? Because I don't know. That's the only restaurant I know that we've ever mentioned, as far as I know. Beef Bourguignon on Long Island, nice. Yeah, it's actually, we had a storm in Los Angeles, which means it's frigid here for Los Angeles. It's 57 degrees Fahrenheit. How is working with Chris Elliott? Tom, please. Yes, I will post that recipe, Meredith. I will definitely post that recipe. All right. Barbara, you just saw Doris on Hallmark. All right. Let's get into the Toaster episode, season 3, Christmas episode, the Toaster episode. Let's clear up a couple of things. It's a favorite episode. It is based on a real life story. I know that the facts sometimes get a little bit muddy. And there was a great question about how often does a story, a real story, end up on the series, and how long between the time that event happens and when it ends up in the episode. So almost everything in the series is based on truth, based on something that happened to Ray, Phil, or one of the writers. Now, as a comedy writer, you have to make it a little bit heightened because most of our lives, daily existence, is dull. I don't care who you are. I've said this in the past. The banal existence of most of us, when you see the Hollywood stars and their life is filled with glamour and stunningness and fun, that is not the case for anybody ever in the history of the human race. So you can't just put a camera on, even if you, I won't even say the name, but even if you have a reality show, you might be watching 40 minutes of 1 week of filming. 1 week of filming. So hundreds and hundreds of hours narrowed down into 40 minutes to try and make it interesting. So when you're doing an episode of a sitcom and you want the story to be entertaining to you at home in 22 minutes, you have to make sure that it works as a story and there's a lot of funny interjected. All right. So having said that, every year when you work on a TV show, especially if you work on a show where you know is going to come back, let's call it a hit or something like a hit, you usually get Christmas gifts. And the more successful the show is, the better the gifts are, usually within reason. And so Everett Loves Raymond, the first season, the show was probably going to get canceled. So I'm vaguely remembering us getting a gift, a jacket or something. So you usually would get a gift. In the case of Everybody Loves Raymond, you would get a gift from David Letterman's company, which is Worldwide Pants. Then you would get a gift from HBO, which is the production company. And then I don't know if we got a gift from CBS the first season, but CBS was the network that ran the show, that aired the show. So the second year of Raymond, we moved from Hollywood Center Studios, which is now called Sunset Las Palmas. It's where I Love Lucy filmed the first 2 seasons. We were in stage 3-8, and I think Lucy was on stage 2 or 1, right around the corner. And I bring that fact up because Everett Loves Raymond moved into Warner Brothers, a big lot. That's where Friends was. But the first year that we were there, we were in temporary trailers, and the walls were wafer thin. You could hear almost everybody else's conversation a few offices away. The writer's room was in one trailer, and then all the offices, Phil's office, the other writer, Steve Scrovan's office was next to Phil's, but Ray and I shared an office, and we were all around the perimeter, and then in the center was what they would call a bullpen where the production assistants were, etc. So, Phil, for season 2, now, we are not a giant hit yet. We are still not a hit, but we know that we are at least going to last, which means people are making money on the show, most notably the network, is making money on the show, and the gifts are starting to get better. And Phil decides he is going to give everybody on the cast and crew, so 130 toasters he's going to give away. And on the side of the toaster, it said in black lettering, "Everybody loves Raymond." And it filled up almost the entire side of this Cuisinart toaster. Let me see. Do I have my phone with me? Let's see. No, that's not my phone. Okay. Oh, I know. I can use this device. That is almost like a phone. So that, let's see if I can bring it up. Phil gives a toaster to everybody. And that toaster, oh, look at that. How convenient. That is the toaster, and that is the bullpen, and that is George White, who you've seen here many times. George has visited. He would get our lunch. So there is the toaster. That is the actual toaster that was giving out. And I think it's a Cuisinart. You can see I'm taking that. There's our friend George. There's it looks like a Variety or Hollywood Reporter. So that is season 2. Okay. Oh, there's our old-fashioned phones. Okay. So that is the actual toaster given to 130 people. And it was a very cool, retro, chic-looking toaster. So, Phil... and everybody's happy to have that toaster because it's kind of cool to be a little keepsake about the show, a mention of the show. So Phil is in his office, and I think it might have been before the Christmas break or after the Christmas break, and Phil's in his office, and he's on the phone. And we don't know who he's on the phone with, but because we have wafer-thin walls, we can hear every conversation within reason. And you try not to, but you can't help but eavesdrop. And so we hear Phil yelling, screaming, very upset. And Steve Scrovan, whose office is right next to him, hears it the loudest. And so Phil has whoever he's angry at on the other end. I think it was Steve Scrovan who came into his office and said, "What's going on?" And Phil told him. He gave everybody the toaster. He sent it to his parents. And he kind of, in much the way that it's shown in the episode, did you see the toaster? Did you open the box? Did you look at the toaster? Yes, very nice. Did you see what it said? Yeah, yes, it's a toaster. Did you read it? Okay. So they returned it. In real life, Phil's parents returned it. And Steve Scrovan, Phil and Steve, when we talk to him, he's not on Instagram. He still has a rotary phone, so he's not going to be joining us anytime soon. He's like, "Phil, that's an episode." And Phil said, "How? How is that an episode? I don't see it." And he was just angry. And a lot of times when we would come into the writer's room, you would vent about something just like you do with your friends. Like, can you believe this happened? And many times when it happened to you, you were just angry and you couldn't see the potential as an episode, whereas the other writers would sit there and go, okay, that could be an episode. And Phil was especially good at that, going, this can be an episode. So that's season 2. Season 3, Phil writes the toaster episode. A year has passed. Some of his anger has gone away from his parents. And what you see in the toaster episode is very, very similar to what happened in real life. So that was a year from the actual event, and a little bit less because I don't know if you guys noticed, but on some of the photos that I take on the negatives, you can see the date. And usually we have to film an episode 4 weeks before it airs. So you'll notice that the Christmas episodes are filmed around November 14th, somewhere in there, depending on what day that works out. So the toaster episode, that is most of the story of what happened. And when Phil comes on again, we will talk more about the toaster episode. Now, let me go back through and see if I missed any questions. Hello, everybody. Wow, look at all these great fans. Hello. You just got home from gallbladder. Don't make you laugh. Okay. Good luck with your gallbladder surgery recovery. I didn't expect that comment. Oh, yes. Teresa's Karen. Yes, that was Tefano's. Yes. Hello, Karen in Plymouth. I'm going back. Yes, the turkey hand. Absolutely. Hello, Donnell. I'm seeing those hearts. Are those for the turkey hand? The toaster episode was episode. Perhaps you're saying it was the best episode. Patricia is gorgeous. Oh, yes, from the Polaroid. Photobomb by Ray. Okay, I'm just catching up. Here we go. Let me move forward a little bit. By the way, I do try and answer every question I can here on the live, and if I can't, if I don't on the live, I try to answer within the comments. So Donnell, could it be that season 9 was just a shorter season, 16 episodes, so they cut the Christmas episode? FYI, no ELR episodes aired in December that season in 2004. Oh, very interesting. Yes, you know why that might be, Donnell. So it seems funny now. We're so many years away, but there was only network TV as the juggernaut. So they constantly were trying to get these giant ratings for a specific week. So now the reason I say it seems funny is everything's on demand. So it's 3 a.m. Let me watch an Everest Raymond. Obviously wasn't the case way back when. For those of you that grew up only knowing the internet, it was much different. So because there were only 16 episodes, which was landed on by a negotiation with Phil and the president of CBS, they wanted to make sure the end of the season they had episodes to show. So that, Donnell, might be the perfect reason, is CBS might have said, we're not going to air a Christmas episode. Now, a lot of times what happens is the ratings do drop. So way back in the day, they used to have something called sweeps weeks, where everything, they kind of meter what is a hit, what are the rates they're going to charge for advertising based on the results of sweeps weeks. So you would see, this is our great, episode with all these guest stars and everything to try and make sure the ratings are high. Yes, the toaster is a much watch during Christmas. Yes. Okay, scrolling through. A toaster refrigerator magnet. Yes, we are still getting our fork and spoon. The prototype has arrived. I showed you that. Now we have the production challenge. So I will keep you guys posted on when those arrive. But everything else, all of the merchandise, I have some here. I'm looking that way to see if anyone is here to hand it to me. Okay, let me take another sip. The Quotes mug. By the way, we were thinking about putting a special Christmas version mug out. I don't know if you guys saw, we also have the Christmas ornaments, and the first time, and I don't know if I'm going to do a limited edition refrigerator magnet with a picture of the cast that I took using a medium format picture. It's the only one that I took where the cast especially sat for me to take a photo. I have tons of pictures of the cast, but that is the only formal seating, and that was it came out, a great photo came out because of Ray making a very funny face, and I had a very limited amount of time, and that was also during, oddly, I will find the proof sheet, during the filming of the Bird episode, which, here we go, the hand thing. Okay, the hand turkey. All right, let me catch up on questions, then let's peek inside of this actual one. Here we go. Phil, send him in. Hello, Jasmine. Max and Helen. Yes, Max and Helen Rosenthal, American Treasures. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Phil Rosenthal's parents are Max and Helen. If you've watched Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix, you will have seen them. I think that's the past Pluperfect. What is it like working with Katherine Hellman and Robert Culp? I thought they were brilliant as Deborah's parents. Yeah, Karen. So they were such veterans. So the short answer is great. They were phenomenal. They're loosely based on somebody that's in Phil's world. He can bring that up if he wants, but if you remember, in season 1, they meet the in-laws, and they were talking about Robert Culp and Katherine Hellman were talking about visiting Vietnam. And at that point in 1996, Vietnam was still for Americans, it didn't seem like fun. And so they were this very progressive family. And when you look at the Toaster episode and you see their living room and you see et cetera, they just seemed perfectly cast. But they were great. They were the ultimate, they were the ultimate veterans and really brought a lot to the stories. Was the story at the finale actually from someone getting their tonsils out, the doctor saying they were not hanging up the moon? Yes, Peachy. That was... So the finale, which we'll cover an entire finale episode. We can do many, many about it. That was more a decision that can you continue because the show is going to end. So there is no continuing. Can you continue a storyline where perhaps the lead does not make it? And so there's a real jeopardy as opposed to a false jeopardy. If you did that storyline in season 4, you as the audience is going to go, well, they're not going to kill off Ray because it's Everybody Loves Raymond. So I'm not even invested. But for the finale, that might actually happen. So we'll have to ask Phil and Ray what if there was any genesis, but I think that was more the motivating factor. How do we get the audience to feel like we might lose our beloved Raymond? Don't tell your mother. Hello, Norfolk. Oh, hello, Paul. Is it Paul or Paula? I can't. It's hard. I got a glare on my screen. Hello from Norfolk, Nebraska. I broke down once in North Platte, Nebraska. For those of you that are watching in Chechnya, Nebraska is kind of in the upper part of the U.S. and it can be nippy at times. Karen, do I think there will ever be another sitcom as brilliant as ELR on TV again? So obviously, I'm biased. It will be tough to have that long of a run of a family show because it's very, very hard to maintain high ratings and to the audience. I hate to say it, but I know that for those of you that love family entertainment, we are leaning away from that for the most part in our country. But there are brilliant writers, brilliant actors, so it just takes that perfect combination to happen with a network or with a Netflix or somebody that wants it to go for 9 years. So, and isn't a blood pressure issue that Ray experienced a form of hypertension, not hypertension, hypotension? Oh, this is a medical question about the comedy. You could be right. Why was the bedroom closet door always open? Purple Aquarius, excellent question. The bedroom closet door. I'll have to post some pictures to see. I don't know. Maybe was there no door? Did you ever see them opening a door? Oh, yes. I don't know. Here, let me take a peek inside of here because as usual, time is flying. Let me scroll to the end. Wow, a lot of questions. Hello, everybody. Let me see this. Bobby, yes. Okay, here we go. Hand turkey from the episode. Yes. So here we go. Catherine, yes, the Frank and Marie kitchen table is at Phil Rosenthal's house. Okay, so this is one of the 3 that I have. Let's look inside. This one is specifically for Allie. This is one she held. Don't worry, everybody. I will post pictures because I know it's frustrating because it is backwards. So let us see. Inside here. Okay, interesting. So, this is the inside. So, you'll have to put up with it being a little bit backwards, but it is all of the lines from all of the cast. So when Allie was reading it, she is reading her lines. Then Hank, then Amy, Pat, Allie, Pat, Hank, and Ray. Let's see, Raymond. And here is page 2. So this is really cool to see. So they were, and there's been a question asked in the past when people are reading, when an actor is reading from something on screen, are they actually reading? So this is the answer in this case. Yes, they are probably reading. At least Allie was probably reading. Next time we talk to Madeline Sweeten, we'll have to ask her if she remembers. So there you go. From the episode, the Thanksgiving MacDougall family tradition, where Ray really did a great interpretation of Squanto. Okay, which reminds me. So let me. Here are the other ones, and this is the third one. We'll have to ask props department who made them, and I'm sure that the props department probably did make them. And let's see this. So yeah, okay, they all have the same script on the inside. So there you go. Sorry, again, it is backwards, and I will post the pictures so you'll be able to read and see the genuine prop from the Bird episode. So off of that, somebody asked, what was it like with Chris Elliott? Working with Chris Elliott. Chris Elliott is a brilliant comedic actor, and he was phenomenal in every way. He just was phenomenal. He played creepy Peter perfectly. And there was a time when we all, Phil and a bunch of the writers, did an Inside the Writers' Room in Connecticut. For those of you that aren't familiar with our states, Connecticut is on the East Coast and near New York, etc. And we did this Inside the Writers' Room show. And Chris came, and he invited us back to his house, and we all hung out and had a blast at his house. Just a great, great guy. If you haven't seen the highlight clips of him on the Letterman show, you should watch that. And of course, his father is a very famous comedian, part of Bob and Ray comedy team. Yes. Thank you, Noah. Thanks for showing these. Tom, it's like being teleported back there. Yes, it's very interesting. Karen, the cards really stood the test of time. Yes. Well, Karen, they were in a box in my basement, untouched for 17 years. So they will probably get more wear and tear just from me handling them than them sitting peacefully alone. Annabelle, you were at the Bird filming or the Toaster filming? Probably at the Bird, I'm guessing, because that was season 8, and the Toaster is season 3. All right, let's take a look inside. Well, if I leave my perch, let me see. I have some other merchandise here that I can. Do you guys want me to go show you some other merchandise that we have arrived? Give me some hearts, but I'll have to leave my chair because it's out of reach. Let's see. I have 2 shirts and the bag. All right. Until then, here we go. The Toaster episode, written by who else would write this but Phil Rosenthal, who it happened to. Now on the inside, again backwards, I'll post pictures. There is our full cast. And there was a person in that episode that you may or may not have recognized, but he is the person that, I'll give you a clue, he said the name of the entire series. All right, here we go. Raymond, looking good. I can't tell what that says, because also I'm looking in the monitor and it's backwards. There we go. There is Raymond wearing his brown suit. Some notes on Raymond's outfit, again backwards and frustrating, and also not as interesting because Raymond's wardrobe is not so interesting. Again, I will post these. I know we glanced at these before. There's Patty Heaton, who was, yes, some people have pointed out, and I'll find a picture Patricia Heaton was extremely pregnant. I don't know what that means in medical terms, but she was pregnant. So we had to hide. We had to hide as much of her as possible. There we go. There she is, hiding her being pregnant. There's her notes on her outfit. Again, I will post these. Don't panic. But I would say she has that I'm pregnant glow about her. There is Patty again. Yes. Wearing flannel. I think that might be the last scene. Is she making a phone call from the last scene? I think so. Here we go. Doris Roberts again. The picture I showed earlier. Raymond photobombing Doris Roberts. Oh, you can see his arm. I didn't notice that before. Coming around. And then, of course, all the notes on her outfit. A lot of questions about her outfits. And it's not my strength. Here we go. Peter Boyle, Frank, looking as always. There he is, looking at his lines. And there he is as he went to Bloomingdale's. All right, here we go. There is our friend Robert. Brad Garrett making kind of a funny face before he visited. And there he is as he showed up at Lois and Warren's. Now, a lot of people commented that they never saw that set before of Lois and Warren's, of their living room set. But you're focused on the action. It's a beautiful set. When I post a static photo, it looks completely different. There you go. There is Maddie wearing her snowman sweater. And there are the twins with Susan de Fabre, who is the child wrangler. Here we go. Yes, Catherine Hellman. I think that is Ray behind her. And then Phil holding a script next to Ray. And there is Robert Culp wearing his vest in his living room. You can see what looks like an Eames chair behind them in the living room. There she is, looking. Catherine Hellman always looked great. Ah, yes, a familiar face. There is the woman at Bloomingdale's. You can see the toaster behind her. There is the old lady who wanted the different engraving. Here is Robert's date, where Ray says, "What is your life now?" That is Robert's date, who he shows up with after skiing. There's the clerk at the Bloomingdale's. Frozen time. Yes, why are we lying today? Okay, here we go. Here's our mystery guest. Ray Romano's real brother, the policeman, Richard Romano, playing the guard who comes in at the very end. And Ray's parents in real life were at the filming. I have pictures of them sitting in the audience. And there we go. There is the line. And you can't tell, but there's a lot of people that work on Everett Raymond in the line, including Amy, who is a production person who will come on the show, but is not on Instagram yet. There we go. There's all the background players. A lot of them there, actually. A couple more there. And again, a lot of confusion here. Ray's brother in real life is a policeman. He has two brothers. He patterned the character after Richard the policeman. But because he felt that his brother Robert was being left out, he named the policeman character Robert to kind of throw a little bit of recognition to his other brother. So it gets a little bit confusing, but that's what are you going to do? Okay, so now a little bit more. Okay, hello everybody. How did they film the store scenes in the toaster, since not set in Ray's or Frank's house or at Deborah's parents'? Annabelle, sorry, I missed it. How did they film the store? So the store scene, I think, was filmed on another sound stage, and they did that kind of crane reveal shot with all those empty boxes. But the actual store where they were walking in and what contest did I win? That was when you're sitting in the bleachers. It was around to the left. So I have some behind the scene photos. So the only thing that wasn't on stage 5 was just Frank's reveal of all the toasters, where he says, "Holy crap." How did they film in Bloomingdale's? Yes, that was Yes, Phil's brother is Richard also. You are correct, Karen. And, that's funny. I never even thought of that tie, even though I know Richard very well, so it works out perfectly. Since a lot of the family dynamic, for example, in jazz records, that family dynamics with the brother who he hated, that Phil was able to contribute that. Not that he hates his brother. Okay, let me go back. How come they never updated the betting? Always the same. Barbara from Long Island. When you say the betting, do you mean Ray and Deborah's betting? Or do you mean Frank and Marie's betting? I don't know. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can reach some of that merchandise. And then final questions before we say goodbye. The show, yes. Did Ray keep any props? Ray has the couch. I saw it the other day. Ray has the Ray and Deborah couch sitting. Yes. So, sorry, Annabelle, you were at that one. Yes, going back. I love all these questions. These are great. And so, again, going back to the set, the Christmas tree. So there were a lot of comments about that wasn't on the show. I don't remember that on the show. And then when you watch it, you're like, oh, I see. That's on the show. It's a really beautiful set. And what happens is when it's illuminated. So that scene was shot if you were sitting in the audience and you looked at the main set. Again, most of you have not been to the show, but if you've been following my channel, you've seen it enough to know that Ray and Deborah's kitchen and living room is the main set. The living room was right next to their set. The Lois and Warren living room was right next to the set. So, all right, let me see. I'm going to have to, can I leave my chair? Or do I have a better idea. Why don't I do a special live where I hold up all of the merchandise that we have available when we get it all in? That might be a better idea than me actually leaving my perch and risking falling and some dead air time, etc. But I will post those pictures. So the photo, for those of you that haven't gone on the site, the photo of the cast, the only photo of the cast that I took especially as a photo of the cast, is now available as a refrigerator magnet in various sizes. But so there you go, Ray making a very funny face. That is a photo that I took using a medium format camera, which means it's a very big negative. The color is amazing. It's probably the best photo I have of the cast posed, because I do, as you know, have a lot, and that's on our ELR 360 shop. Okay, let me see. Final questions. Deborah always gets into bed. Yes, rub lotion. Yes. So in acting terms, sorry, I'm picking up on a couple of these. When you're an actor, sometimes you're looking for physical business to do instead of just talking. So a lot of times Deborah would be putting on lotion, and we even built it into one of our stories about, I think it was 6 Feet Under, which I wrote with Steve Scrove and Cindy Shupak, about Ray worried about him not being 6 feet. So yeah, that's always something physical to do. All right, and then I think before I say goodbye, I know that Phil is going to be in the United Kingdom for his book release. His book, Somebody Feed Phil. The book is fantastic. But I will keep you posted on that for all of you Raymond fans. If he's near you, perhaps you can see. And I don't know that I will be making it, but I would love to make it, but I don't know. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I will see you next week. We'll be talking, I think, about the Christmas picture. Keep your questions. Spread the word about our Facebook site, our website, because we're really growing like mad on Facebook, and I see that a lot of people are really appreciative of all of our photos. All right. Have a good week, everybody. I will see you next week.